What's up everyone, a brand new HOH has been crowned and he goes by the name of Memphis. So to inject some fun into the week, how about we have a geography song filled week, just like we had the Christmas songs week. So we'll kick things off with a bang in Viva Las Vegas. Let's go. Last night Ian, he went out the door, yeah he went out the door to jury. The remaining house guests went to the backyard to battle it out with fury. Oh, they had to stack their puzzles very high. Do it better than Caitlin Herman's try. Who is the target? Here you'll find out why. So Viva Angela's Vegan Cookbook. Viva Angela's Vegan Cookbook. We have got lots to talk about, guys, including who is the target and who will find themselves on the block this week as Memphis reigns over the house once again. So welcome to your live feed update. So yeah, guys, Memphis has been crowned the new HOH, hence why we have a geography song filled week on TV Talks with Tom. I hope you all enjoyed that. Hopefully my voice didn't sound too shaky. Obviously Elvis is a tad ambitious, but you know what? I'm going for it, so I went for it there, guys. But I hope you enjoyed that. And obviously we've got lots and lots of updates to get through. But first off, straight off the bat, let me know in the comments who you believe Memphis is going to nominate. When the feeds returned, we found out that the have-nots have been picked for the week, and Davon and David respectively each picked Cody and Christmas as the new have-nots for the week. We are only down to 2 have-nots now, so it's Christmas and Cody this week. Cody and Danny quickly got talking game, and obviously they're going to feel safe this week. Obviously Memphis is not going to put them up on the block unless he plans something crazy and the dictatorship goes wild again, but I think it's very, very unlikely that they're going to be targeted. So they started plotting straight away, saying that they really hope he doesn't target David this week. We've seen throughout the season Memphis have a problem with David. He doesn't like him, he wants him out the house, or it comes across that way anyway, the way he speaks about him in the house. And I just think David won't be the target this week because I feel like people will be putting the pressure on him. But saying that, if we flip things on its head, there is just enough chance of it still being the case that he does target David, because Memphis doesn't like to listen to anyone when he's in power. He does his own thing, puts a target on his back, and then lays low for a few weeks. That's exactly the way Memphis plays. He is literally playing the lone wolf strategy that he has been preaching to people for weeks on end now. But they agreed that David shouldn't be the one to go. They said that Kevin needs to be the person to go first out of the 3 that include David, Davon, and Kevin. Davon's name wasn't really thrown around because Davon seems to be entitled with Danny and Cody now. Not massively, but she is like a sort of she's closer than Kevin and David are, because David is sort of in there as well, but I'd say Kevin is the furthest out of the loop now. So Kevin definitely needs to watch his back this week if Memphis is going to be swayed by Cody and Danny, and even Nicole Franzel will probably put a word in as well. But it seems as though they are hell-bent on making sure Kevin is the one to go out this week. However, Memphis hasn't officially disclosed the target yet. We can only assume it's going to be David or Kevin, but he said he will talk to people tomorrow about nominations, because the tradition on HOH night tends to be everyone flocks up to the HOH room either in groups or one by one to campaign to the HOH why they should not be nominated this week. But Memphis put a line in the sand. He said he doesn't want to talk about this sort of stuff tonight, so it'll probably provoke him if anyone did do that. And I think his initial sort of idea going into this was, you know, it gives him a reason if someone does come to him on that evening to nominate them, because when he specifically asked no game talk on this night and I want to do it all tomorrow, if someone goes to him, that's going to annoy him, and it gives them a reason to put them up on the block. Despite Memphis' request for no game talk, or well, minimal game talk so people wouldn't go campaign to him, he talked to Christmas, because Christmas is probably his closest ally in the game. You know, he's tight with Cody, but I believe he's talking a lot of game with Christmas. So Christmas asked him who he feels threatened by, and he says out of the 3 people who are the potential targets, Memphis said he feels least threatened by Davon. So I think Davon is only going to be going up on the block in a sort of a replacement nom situation this week, in my opinion, unless they want to solidify someone heads out the house, and they put someone like Christmas up as a replacement nom to make sure David or Kevin leaves the house. There's lots to anticipate this week. I think it's going to be a very sort of highly likely week where we pretty much know who's going home from the off. But Memphis, of course, is rogue, and he may just make this crazy decision and put 2 people up on the block that we don't expect. Danny and Kevin were discussing why Memphis has made this rule where no one can discuss game with him tonight, and they believe it's because his mind is made up already. Kevin is probably going to be on the block, and I think Memphis is likely using this as an excuse basically to not put himself in pressure, because when you've just got the HOH, your head needs to be clean and you need a nice night's sleep, so you can go into the next day making sure you can make clear decisions and talk to people rationally. And if there's people coming to him who he has already decided he's going to target tonight, that's probably going to annoy him and throw his week off course. So I think he just wants things to run smoothly and talk to everyone in the morning. Of course, it wasn't far away until Cody and Nicole just started to discuss some game. Couldn't get my words out there, guys. I'll get there eventually. But Cody told Nicole that he does not think David should be the person to go this week. He is reiterating this to many of his closest allies in the house, saying it would be a waste of a week, and he is not going to send David home. He said that he would rather Davon go home, as he feels Davon is more of a threat than David. And you know, even though Davon is tight with Danny now, I don't know if that's going to cause a strain. Well, not tight, but you know, tighter than they were before. So we saw the strain last week between Danny and Cody with the whole Tyler vote, and with Nicole over the Ian vote, but obviously Nicole was sort of being quite fake, I guess, over that, and she sort of pretended she really wanted Ian to stay, but if she really did, she would have voted him to stay. Because they had the votes, she could have made something work with Danny and made Danny break the tie and send Tyler home, but obviously Nicole didn't go through with that. She just gave Ian false hope all week for him to be sent to the jury house. So there's a lot of sort of dynamic shifts that have been happening, you know, because I think now if someone comes to threaten Tyler, Danny's very careful with what she does around Cody, and it's similar to David because Cody's obviously tighter with David than he is Davon, but Danny is probably tighter with Davon. So it's yeah, you gotta be careful how it goes. So even though I think Nicole is tight with Cody and Danny, she's got to decide which way does she want to go. Does she want to go the Cody route or the Danny route? It's difficult, and it's definitely going to fracture a few more relationships this week, I believe. But at the same time, Cody has just reiterated he thinks Davon should be the one to go home over David, or especially Kevin could be a target as well, because they did actually bring up the notion that Davon and Kevin are actually a pair when David really isn't in a pair. Nicole told Tyler that when he is speaking to Davon about her, he should be mean about Nicole, obviously to throw her off the scent that Nicole was the one who did actually vote out Ian. So it's sort of, I think she's just trying to cover herself to make sure that she isn't seen as someone who flip-flops backwards and forwards. So yeah, she's trying to cover all bases there, and I think it's going to come out eventually. It always does, it always will. 9 times out of 10 it does, and yeah, we'll just see how long it takes. Nicole told Cody that David, it's a lot of he said, she said, but Nicole told Cody that David had gone up to speak to Memphis and told him that they should keep up a charade of pretending to dislike each other to avoid a target getting put on either of their backs. And Cody said it's a good thing because they want to keep David off the block. But if they're going to pretend to not like each other, surely he would put him up on the block. I don't know how that would work really, because for two people that would hate each other essentially or dislike each other in the house, people are going to smell a rat when Memphis doesn't put David up on the block. They'll think something fishy's up, and Memphis is going to sink his own game, so he needs to be totally transparent this week. I think there will be full transparency anyway. It's just the initial nominees are going to be 2 of the 3 out of Davon, Kevin and David. David told Cody, whatever happens, happens. It's a classic Big Brother thing, you know, whatever happens, happens, is what it is. It's too early for this. Lots and lots of cliches, expect the unexpected, but we are not expecting the unexpected here. It's very, very likely that David could be a target. We don't know for sure, but it's very, very likely. But I think Cody's trying to push the fact he shouldn't be a target to Memphis, but he don't want to push too hard, because obviously Memphis doesn't want to talk game. So David said if he is to be put up on the block, he is to be nominated. He would rather be put up straight off the bat. So he's got a chance to fight for his Big Brother life with the veto comp. He doesn't want to not play in the veto and then just be put up and sent out the door. Yeah, I think he really just wants to. He's got this fighting spirit and he really wants to stay in. So if he's got to be nominated, straight off the bat so he can fight for the veto. Julie Chen announced in the eviction show that the Big Brother neighbours house would be coming into play next week with a Big Brother legend moving in. So make sure you have the bell notification turned on my channel. It's just below, guys. Just hit the bell to get notified when a new upload goes live, because I will be uploading a new video tonight talking about the Big Brother neighbours house. That is all of your game updates for today, folks, for the simple reason of the fact that Memphis pretty much cut Game Talk off for the whole night. But the Game Talk we had, guys, I really hope you enjoyed hearing it. And who do you think is going to find themselves on the block this week? Just drop any of your Big Brother thoughts in the comments below. But as usual, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate the support. It's humbling, and I'm just, yeah, it's great. I love doing these videos, and every single bit of support that you guys give me is just, I just appreciate it massively, and that's why I say it at the end of every single video, because I really do mean it. But guys, I'll say as I usually do, don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. But until your next live feed update, I've been your host Tom Vasey. Good night.